Go all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Quite a news week, Pegasus says. What's
Mm,
in the news? Anything? Anything?
a little bit. Um,
Morning, Diane. Nah,
Rudy found out he was mortal.
Rudy. What a fool. He thinks that's a good strategy just to lose.
Well, no, they think I didn't lose. I'm going to stand out in the steps and tell everybody losing $150 million, having $150 million awarded against you is a good thing.
Like they say, he's gonna die broke and a sad man.
Yep. He's already a sad man, and now he just doesn't have any money while he's a sad man. And we have the biggest fool of all still blowing out his mouth. So,
Hmm. Earth Mama. I just want stuff to go back to normal.
yeah, Scott and I were discussing this. What's your normal? You know, I mean, probably for most of the people listening to this, if you're born and raised in America, you did duck and cover routines in your school and fire drills and stuff like that. Um, and I, when I went away to college, I was finally around a lot of people that didn't live in places that were part of the center of the U.S. military complex. So in my hometown in Illinois, we knew we were toast. It didn't matter. Duck and cover if that bomb came. May as well stand in the window and watch it hit. But
Yeah.
I don't think I'd trade. I that was okay because I somehow part of me just couldn't quite believe it would happen. But the shooter drills that kids went through in the last generation is just hideous. You talk about setting up paranoia for life.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything in my life was pretty much normal. In rural Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
not much crazy really happens. And, you have the post Vietnam, whatever, but you don't really know it.
Yeah.
I think the weird started when 9/11 happened.
You know,
You
that's
know,
when it reached everywhere.
everything else seemed normal, and then you see that, and then you just go, wow. And then we're in a war. Well, Bush v. Gore. I guess
Mm-hmm.
Bush v. Gore was the worst, or the start of everything weird that I can remember. Non-stop talk about the Chads, hanging Chads, and how Gore got hosed, and then 9/11, and so I guess that was the first time I ever seen a politician like Bush, and I'm like, God, that guy's dumb. He cannot be president. Just listening to him speak and is like, I don't see any common sense in that man. It's just like, whoa, come on.
Well, I live in a state that epitomizes dumb getting more and more hard set into the system. Till you have the people we have now who say we will let you go if it's the life of the mother until someone shows up. It's the life of the mother, and then they go, "Oh, we don't think that's adequate. We know better because we're lawyers." Really?
Here. Karen is concerned about a nuclear reactor.
Oak Ridge is where the Manhattan Project was, and that actually my first set of in-laws. That's where they met. Was in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and that's where all the people that built big chunks of the first nuclear bomb were. And then when they put it all together, it went to New Mexico where they blew everything up.
But we've never seen. I've never seen anything so divided since Trump came to the scene.
No, he's got powerful allies helping him from the outside. And you also never had social media like this.
True.
We had sources of information, even you had small town newspapers in Wisconsin, until they started eating them all up.
Well, there wasn't any, I don't know. We didn't have a Fox News, that would lie constantly like that, or at least I didn't.
Mm-mm. They didn't think they could get away with it. When I started in broadcasting right out of college, I worked for a PBS station. There were guidelines. I mean, if we did a segment on something, we had to give people equal time to come and tell the other side. There's none of that anymore. First of all, there's no other side to what Fox does, because it's like trying to equate a scientific lecture with a fairy tale. So, do you want to ask if everything will ever go back to normal, Scott? How many no's do you want to see?
Yeah. I'm going to see what the cards have to say here about normal. What it's telling me here is the only way we get back to normal is kind of like what we're talking about, is stopping the lies and, and the disinformation and the money that goes into that.
Yep.
There's a lot of money. The dark money into politics too. Stopping that flow of money to the disinformation side. I'm seeing arrests. Arrests will help. Because I got my Knight of Swords coming in, defending our democracy. So arrests. All these bad actors actually did, and making arrests and locking them up, and justice happening. Proper information to the people will help a lot. Stop the 7 of Cups, illusions is delusions. Go back to a simpler time, and I have 8 of Swords. Lock people up that are not. So it's like, you gotta stop it. Citizens United. We gotta stop the Fox Newses and Alex Joneses, and arrest the people that were part of the insurrection. So when Jack gets to after 45, you can start. Got the 5-year window. Start arresting politicians that were involved.
Yeah.
We get more Democrats in. We can do some work. So until then, it's going to be the same old, same old.
Yep. I got pretty much the same thing. I got a reverse 4 of Cups where people are sitting around pouting. They have to quit doing that and saying, oh, woe is me, what can I do? And there's going to be an enormous change. I mean, that card means transformation, means complete and absolute change. It's like everything dies and comes back a new way. It's going to come back with the Knight of Cups, which is a kinder, gentler person. But the Knight of Cups, remember, also can be sell you what you want to hear. So you got to watch out for that. But if we plant our crops well, if we plant our values well, and have people really face judgment, I think that's the most important thing. We can go back to a different kind of normal, because what we're seeing is an exaggeration of the old normal. People can talk about, that are my age, can talk about, in the 50s you could do this and this and this and all that stuff. But you could if you were white and middle class. There are a lot of people who couldn't. A lot of people who had no rights. And we have to remember about them too. So that normal is not good for them. If we want a fair and just normal, which is, I think, what the judgment card recognizes. You get judged for what you do.
Judgment will help.
I think that's what's so frustrating to wake up and listen to these people say this stuff and go, how come they're not in jail?
Yeah.
When you hear what these congressmen were up to, that they were all on the phone to Trump on the 5th of January, and then they got caught in his web on the 6th. On the 6th, they were shaking in their boots and terrified. On the 7th, they were kind of acting like you would expect people who'd been in a building that was invaded like that. And then a month later, they're going, oh, what, the tourists? You mean the ones that knocked out the windows to get in because the doorways were overcrowded? Those tourists? And you kind of wonder, why aren't these people in jail?
Yeah. So kind of get an example of, like, if someone's in a severe car accident, or you escape death, you think about that for a little bit and you're stunned, but then you go back to driving 100 miles an hour. They don't care. Oh, I'm okay. I'm Superman. I won't have no guts. And that's what they did. Kissed the ring and went on from there. Judgment is part of normal. Yeah. James Carville is investigating Mega Mike. Good. There's been plenty of crazy come out about him. Oh my God.
Oh, how many? There's another guy who doesn't have a bank account either. You know, he's living in a almost $1 million mansion somewhere, and he doesn't have a bank account.
You talking about that Ogles guy?
Yeah.
In Tennessee? Yeah. He's another guy like a Santos Johnson. Just crazy how they can get away with this. Okay, what was that? Campaigning. GOPers are going broke. RNC and other states.
Okay.
Let's look at the money infused into 45 here.
Okay.
You would think he wouldn't be doing NFTs again if the money's flowing. So let's see.
I'm going to use that funny deck that looks like 1930s cartoons. Mystical Medleys.
Trump campaign. Guys are showing me a huge drop off pretty soon, next few months.
Well, how desperate is he? He's chopping up his suit and selling pieces. And how many suits do you think they've chopped up by now to sell off to those people? Those are like his virtual playing cards.
I know, right, Deb? 45 paid that guy to do nothing for him at Testify, and it was like $800,000 they paid him. Mostly,
no, it was $900,000 out of his campaign chest.
A lot.
Oh my God!
Campaign.
I asked if he was going to go broke. He has yes, the star is right side up. Yes, the lovers is right side up. This is running around campaigning like he's winning right side up. And it's all about the money. And it's all about the King of Swords, which he could qualify as in a negative position. That means if you ask a question, will he go broke before 2024, this summer of 2024? It's absolutely yes. And it totally points toward it. Not going anywhere else. especially he's made his bed, he's made his choices, he's got the friends he's got. It shows his campaign's toast.
In the past, it shows me he had a lot of money support with the MAGA movement, because I got the excuse me, the Empress, Knight of Wands, Ace of Wands. His movement had a lot of infusion. But now we have, with the Eight of Swords, and the bad karma and debt coming, Queen of Coins. Like his funding is turning backwards with the looming imprisonment coming here. The judgment will come. When was it? I think January 11th. Engoron will, something around there. Engoron is going to decide on his New York penalty for his business, James. There's still support coming in with the 10 of Cups in the end.
It's going to be his low dollar supporters. Even I don't know what's happening in Wisconsin with Republicans, but there were two different groups of major business leaders in Texas telling the Texas government, telling Paxton and all of them, you stop this. Their workers are fleeing out of here. Big companies can't get employees at top level positions or even bottom level positions. People don't want to live in a state. You know, you've wiped out anybody who's of child rearing age that's wanting to live in this state. So what are you going to be left with? Toddlers and people my age. We're an interesting group, but we're not that productive.
Eventually it goes down, yes. I think it feels like all these cases are gonna really hinder. It doesn't feel like it's economy wise.
No, the economy is doing better than it. They're down to a number that when I was studying business, when unemployment got to that point, you were going to have to pay more to get any kind of worker. And now they're driving the workers out of the city, and out of the state. And I saw one thing yesterday that gave me the chills. My daughter's going out of town, so she took me out to celebrate the holidays last night for dinner. And on our way home, and we ate early because I had to get back for my 9 candles at 7:00. On this big, very busy corner, sort of about a mile from where I live, was this giant, like, city bus covered with a plastic siding, you know, where they put words on it. And it said, blacks should not vote for Biden. And it had a whole row of tables where people are sitting there. We're going to seriously talk about this. They were all African Americans, except the two guys. The one who was filming everything, he was white. And then the guy who was sort of standing in the background where he wasn't on the table, he was white. And the place was surrounded by those American flags that they've discolored and written words all over and changed things on. And my daughter and I looked at it, and we were going too fast to get a picture of it. But that's just chilling because where they put it was a major sort of shopping area, which I hope has the good sense to throw them off next time they show up. But if they show up late on a Saturday, they're not going to get kicked. But that's totally, I don't know many African Americans that feel like that. They may not be doing handsprings about Biden, but it was so obviously orchestrated. I can tell you no grassroots group in Dallas had the money to raise what it took to put the siding on that bus alone. much less get the rest of that set up out there. So we've got that, and and that's not directly supporting Trump. I mean, they're really counting on the some sort of third candidate hitting Biden.
I don't think you see that happening, but yeah, the disinformation about that is crazy. So
people driving by that watch Fox News, that just verifies what Fox is telling them. Because the black community doesn't like them either.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about this question? No, I did not watch DeSantis town hall. He's crazy.
No. Yeah, they're figuring it out to some extent. When Fox got hit with that lawsuit, that really made people think, well, they heard something that, said that they weren't on the up and up. But what happened, well, there's always going to be a certain percentage of hardcore people that will never give up on the lies they were told about how things work. I can remember in 2008 having a guy come up when we were running a tent trying to promote primary candidates in that election, and this guy came up and he started talking to me, and I kind of didn't even understand the framework of what he was complaining about. And I said, I said, you're obviously on a different page than I am. Can you slow this down? This guy was bitching about Jimmy Carter. This was 2008. I'm like, where do you live? There's 100 other things you could pick, to go after Dems, but how did you? You had Bill Clinton and all the rest of that stuff in between there. There's just a certain level of people, they get something dug in their heads, and it's not going to get undug. The best thing you can be is not condemning them to hell, casting them away if there's someone who you could speak to personally. But that's why in Virginia, the areas that won they won all over because there was a dissatisfaction there, but they really won big where they went door to door and talked to people. Because if you start talking to people one-on-one, that starts them thinking, yeah, why did I think that? What made me think that? It's like, why do people say they'll never fall away from faux news? Well, there's propaganda the other way that can stop it. If you all can ever find the documentary How Superman Killed the Klan. He didn't kill it, unfortunately, but he drove it further underground. But it's a whole thing where the FBI actually went to the producers of the Superman. It was when it was on the radio and early television, and they had Superman take off after people that had the prejudices that the Klan had. And what they found out, it was disincentivized their children from wanting to participate in what their parents were doing.
Wow.
It's really an interesting documentary. And so, there's other things that will happen or other things that will pop up. But what funny person out there? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Too many electric cars plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
I seen something on the news about electric cars, and it's like, Merry Christmas, Kristen. Thank you. They were talking about it'll explode better like when they put solar on the roof instead of having all these charging stations. Someone was talking about electrifying the roads or something. Like, that infrastructure would be so expensive. I don't see that happening.
Are you kidding? They can't fix the potholes around me without stopping the damn city. I don't know are they fixing all the roads in Wisconsin? Because they're fixing all the roads around Dallas all at once. And
It
it's what
seems like
happens when you only fix your infrastructure every 60 years.
it. Yeah, I mean, usually the roads do get redone pretty heavily, but it was extra heavy this year.
Oh, yeah, but you have winter. I mean, we don't have a real winter. We have a summer that might melt them. But, but we still get potholes. I remember one time I was going to a friend's house in South Dallas, and I looked at her and I said, "When did the 747s quit bombing your neighborhood?" I mean, it was that bad going down the road.
Okay. Well, I tossed some cards in the Fox note.
Okay.
It's always like, it's like with anything. People got to come to their own tower moment to be woken up.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like, it's tough to change a person's mind when they're dug in that deeply.
And it's not just faux news, guys. The people, faux news, it's still there and it's still feeding them. But where people are really locked in and not going anywhere are the evangelicals. And now they've decided that they put, and to me, okay, I was born and raised a Christian, and I still enjoy many of the Christian ceremonies because I see the deeper spiritual thing in it. But these people don't see the deeper spiritual thing in anything they're doing. It's like they have to all hold together, because if they don't, then their whole world falls apart. And it's a very, when they hit a really desperate point or things really fall apart, what more can they say than what Trump admitted to himself on that bus about what he does with women? And then you get these old women sitting out, and they're my age, sitting out there saying, but God appointed him. God told me in my heart. God didn't tell him in your heart. The minister who keeps this bazillion-dollar church going by running his mega church and lining his own pockets, he's the one who told you. But anyway, let's ask people.
Some of those pastors, evangelicals that speak at Trump's rallies and what, I'm just like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
How can they actually believe this crap?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a wow. But
why don't we try this? It's not just faux news entertainment. Will people ever figure out that the sources they cling on to for their point of reality are wrong? Is there going to be a big shift, like among evangelicals or the faux news?
Right, Debbie. It's about the dollars.
Yep.
But my cousin passed away with his. I disavowed him from my life.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago. We ended up passing away.
Mm-hmm.
My age.
A mere child.
He would not change his mind. He had that belief that we were going to turn into a Venezuela socialist country. Would not shut up about Benghazi. It was worse than 9/11. All this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God. I said, I'm done with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the family won't, his family, any of the family, will not say how he died, but it was very.
Was it suspiciously during a time after 2020 into 2022?
I suspect it was a COVID thing, but
Mm-hmm.
but he was off the rails. But I have the authority. The King of Swords. It's always like the authority power person. It can be legal actions, whatnot, but so that coming in with the Sun and Six of Cups. It's going back to the simpler time.
Mhm.
Way things were supposed to be, kind of like getting rid of the dark money, and lawsuits and legal taking effect. Some of it's going to have to take death because, like I mentioned with my cousin, you can't rid it. I believe like some people woke up with COVID, the people died. Some, we lost 1 million people. Some woke up that way, that, yeah, it wasn't just a hoax, that kind of thing. But you have to go through a dark time before you have a death, an ending. And so we're in the dark night of the soul kind of time. So here's my USA card: going through dark times and having a death, getting rid of the dark money with the devil. Then wishes are fulfilled when we actually tax the rich, because I have the 6 of coins with the 9 of cups. So wishes are fulfilled when we have a better funneling system of the wealthy actually paying their fair share. And then we have a different type of atmosphere and youthful type energy. So this kind of relates going back to a simpler time of when there wasn't so much division and people actually see that the government's working for them and that kind of thing. But arrests help, and the tower moment type help. I don't have the tower, but that's always the sense I get, that people need to go through a tower moment for awakening.
Yeah, I did. I asked the same question, and when you see that stripe, the color on the bottom, that means this is upside down. That means this is a no. And the incoming card on this is watch me work. So you're not watching them work. And this is that they're mentally stuck. And they have no feeling that anything's going to get any better. So they just as well stick what they want with what they've got. And this is another no. And it says that they're heavily burdened. And then my favorite card on this reading is, damn, this sucks place. That's where they live. But that's 5 no's, and 5 no's are, you usually get, if you get a no, you get a little bit of a yes in there, kind of modifying it and stuff. That was no. When they're really in that mindset that everything sucks, they're going to find anything to blame but changing their own energy and trying to see the world in a different way.
It's all part of waking up. Getting to ascension. So everything takes time. It'll never happen unless we get the Democrats in there.
Well, that's true, because
enough to overrule the Republicans. So,
well, they've been paying their paymasters back for years, and if you don't believe it, look at what they did to the abortion rights. Because I can remember arguing with people, said, "Oh, it's established law; they'll never change it." And I said, "No, it's not law. It's a court ruling, and it can get changed in one day."
Where did MAGA Mike's paycheck go to? We looked at this a few weeks ago. We think it goes into his church or his wife's evangelical stuff. Because they have it came out that they found like a LLC or something, part of this Christian Foundation church. I think they're hiding their money through that, through his wife.
Because it's hard to, especially if it's a nonprofit, not taxable situation. Then
so yeah, they'll dig into MAGA Mike more and find out his.
Did they ever create faux churches up in Wisconsin? Down here, a bunch of Braniff pilots created their own church, and they fought it for 12 years that they were a church and that they should not have to pay taxes. They combined their incomes.
We'll go back to this. Why is Gates into UFOs? Distraction. Because he's getting investigated. It's all distraction of everything what Gates does. He's worried about his own culpability.
Maybe he's in with the reptilians. That's why he looks so weird.
Good point. Good point. Where was I? Was it Stefanik? Is that the one I had up?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her last one didn't do anything, even though she said it did. There's no legal standing for.
Well, he's a state court judge, isn't he? He's a state court judge. She's in the House of Representatives. God, these people need a civics lesson. Her thing is separate from his. I mean, doesn't mean as a concerned citizen she shouldn't, be able to espouse whatever she wants. But as far as having, what's she going to do? She can't defund their courts. She's in Congress.
Yeah, she has no authority. It's. I think this is the second one. Wait, she did one on Jack Smith, and she did another on.
Well, Jack Smith's a federal official, okay, but Angoron's a state official.
Backfiring.
Okay.
Not really her supporters, the MAGA side. It's kind of like they feel it's justice by her sending them, but it's kind of the same thing.
That's why you hire lawyers. Your lawyers are supposed to say it to the judge and convince them, not your House of Representatives person.
The letter is about the federal judge.
Okay, which?
Oh, she's probably speaking about
Chunkin?
Chunkin, yeah.
Okay.
Any lashback? I don't know.
Okay, she did it because of money. That's the Ace of Pentacles.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's not going to help her. It's not going to help her with the Wheel of Fortune. She did it because she's the Empress and she's in the garden. She needs to tell everybody what to do. But the downside is she's on the wrong side of the happily fulfilled place. She's the unhappily fulfilled place. And she's also not the provider of power and charm. So it's a yes, no. If she doesn't did it so she could get her name out there because she doesn't want to do handsies with some guy in a movie theater like Lauren Boebert.
Yeah. Yeah.
These girls have to work at getting attention.
She probably puts it on their ad revenue. Oh, I filed this. Don't make to fight back.
Defending what we know is right, like what we don't know is right. And I'm sorry I made the sexist comment about Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene, but they're an embarrassment to my sex. So thank you.
Point taken and accepted.
Okay.
It's true.
I don't know. Offend your feminine side, Scott.
Yeah. Eventually, what they're all doing is going to come to a tower.
Mm-hmm.
What they've done in the past, the Help 45 and the lies, is going to come to a tower. It's not going to do a thing. Yeah, I think it's just about funding. Jeff keeps asking if she wants to be the VP.
VP of what? He's
45.
He's got to stay out of jail long enough.
It's all craziness. I don't think I sense she's not even the radar for a VP pick. Honestly, it's probably Carrie Lake if he would ever get that far. But
I mean Carrie Loser?
Yeah, Carrie Loser. So Chariot. Eventually she's gonna find out it isn't what she's doing is not. She's gonna have her karma come back at her. Everything she's lied about. I think when the change in the guard happens in 2024, she's going to realize a lot of these people are going to realize what they've been doing. It's going to fall flat in their face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all going to come out truthful. 45 is going to get, charged
in
prison, and the facts are going to be known and they're going to lose. You know, actually, McCarthy's probably going to come out on the winning end of this because he just walked away before the, you know, kind of like Bill Barr. He walked away before January 6th.
Yeah, he's going to be like Mark Meadows, so he's so caught up in it, he can't get away. I mean, how big of a jail are we going to have to build? We're just going to have to let a lot of really dangerous drug dealers that had like a couple ounces of marijuana go to fit these guys in cells, you know? The people who really threatened your life.
Have we ever read on McCarthy's culpability? I don't really sense he's, you know, like jail bond or going to be indicted for J6 or anything. It doesn't feel like it rose the culpability of criminality with him. He just kissed the ring.
Well,
unless you want to toss on that, because I don't sense.
Okay, you want to see if Kevin McCarthy's going to be caught up in it in a very negative way, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to have to say a lot of things they don't want to talk about in order to get free.
Oh, I do have a banner made yet, McCarthy.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I think guide said I can stay with this deck. Let's clear it. McCarthy and the J6. Oh, he was subpoenaed, wasn't he? He didn't show up. Was he along with Jim Jordan?
He's another one.
He was? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I heard. Yeah, it's going to hit him. It's not going to hit him totally hard, but it's going to stop his ability to have prosperity and power. And he's out now, right now. This is a yes for him. He's out because he's patiently waiting to see where it clears. And he's been the supporter of ambitious business people that were involved with this. But his biggest thing is he has no compassion for other people. And that's going to screw him, because when he gets into a court and they start asking him logical questions, none of his why I did what are going to hold together. He's going to fall apart on questioning, and he's going to be an embarrassment.
So I'm getting he's going to have to testify.
Mm-hmm.
6 of Cups, Page of Wands, and the Hierophant.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like he's going to have to testify for what he knows
Mm-hmm.
past. Then I have security there. So like he's got money, he's got security, the Queen. So 10 of Coins, Queen of Wands, Ace of Cups. So there's abundance, there's security, confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, I have there's a difficult situation coming up at the end.
Mm-hmm.
With my Evaluate card.
Mm-hmm.
So some caution, some things ahead, decisions to do, some kind of hardship with the Tower, and then my Devil Death card.
Yeah, I don't think Kevin makes good choices.
No, it ain't good choices.
I mean,
it's a bad ending.
Mm-hmm.
But he already divorced himself, a Tower, from this coming up soon.
He divorced himself by putting a continent between him and the court that wants to talk to him, but he can't divorce himself from his actions.
Yeah, the Jack Smith card flew out with the King of Swords, so I think he's going to testify to some things, but maybe he goes away in shame in the base because of, you know, telling the truth finally. It ain't a happy ending, but it's not showing me any prison time or indictments, you know, because now he's not in Congress. He's free to tell the truth behind the scenes. Next month, anyway. but he's giving up. Did you see the speeches about him? I'll never give up. I'm
Yeah.
a fighter, and he walks away.
What's he gonna do? He didn't give up. They voted him out.
Okay. Get rid of banner. Starred. Oh, the binder.
Oh, the CIA binder.
Crossfire Hurricane binder. Oh, Kevin's got a lot of California connections. He's probably good at email. He made a name for himself as, you know, the second in the House there under Pelosi, and always on Fox News talking. So you make a name and you lie on emails. You contact the big donors. You make money. Just plain weird, yeah. I've seen some pictures that were saved or whatever on Twitter. People were floating around. It was about a 10-inch, 10-inch thick binder. All kinds of papers that they had a picture of the guy that was actually walking it out with
Mark Meadows.
With Meadows. You know, when Cassidy talked about it, that she
suspected that's the binder that they were taking.
If she knew the binder, because she said Mark would ask for it. And he said, keep it in her desk. Because no, I'm putting it in the safe. So she's a pretty good witness. Peter Strzok said it originated from Crossfire Hurricane. He's pretty sure that's what it was. I believe that. No.
They're not going to find it. And this is most important. This is the modifier. Something shady is going on, you know, which is the understatement of the year. It doesn't provide prosperity for anyone. It doesn't develop good creative relationships. This card is Watch Me Work Avenue. So whoever did it just, and they did it thinking they were powerful and the magician, but they're not. And I don't think they're going to find it. I think they're going to track where the information went to, however. Doesn't mean they're going to find the book.
Well, it's so I had the Devil coming out here, so I think that's showing some of the information may have been used for profit.
Oh.
There was a lot of worry about it. So I guess it's information that 45 didn't want to be hung around in the government, something like that. Because I have the 5 of Wands, 10 of Wands next to the Devil. So there's some conflicts in there and then some burdens about it. So it feels like, you know, maybe Russia wanted that out of the government or something too. It's amazing there wouldn't be more copies, right? I don't think it's a lone standing one. So, Page of Coins. We got a new path, some kind of assistance along with Justice and the Ace of Cups. Some kind of path showing clarity and some kind of abundance or a source about this. So, that feels like, you know, Jack Smith, our government, tracking it down
Mm-hmm.
through justice, maybe through Meadows or whatever, because they're tracking it and
Mm-hmm.
getting to the bottom of it with the Ace of Cups. Justice is making things happen, and Page of Coins is making it happen, but it's also money. I don't know. I feel like they will figure it out with my cards.
I think, well, it tracked that. What's triggered them to this, how much stuff Trump really had, was in the October, in October of after the year that he got booted out, after January 6th. That following October, what was it, 14 secret agents that we had in Germany and in Russia and 2 in China were killed in weird ways. And so they started saying somebody's got the list, because it's the only one. I mean, it was such a specific list, and that's what sent them off looking at stuff. And so that if it was transmitted electronically or anything like that, and how to find them, they'll be able to track that down, because they'll have a time frame. But it's going to be long, and we'll never still know about it, because they don't want us to know stuff that we don't really want to know about, if they're people who are trying to help keep us safe.
Yeah, classified stuff with
yeah, you're never going to see a law and order. You're never going to see a law and order, how we keep our spies. I mean, it's not going to happen. It's going to, and it shouldn't.
But like I said, my ending cards are pretty positive.
Good.
9-10 of coins, 8 of swords, seeking truth and clarity, and then wishes fulfilled. So, I mean, I don't sense it's like that was the only copy. It's like there's remnants of it.
Mm-hmm.
It could be digital. I don't think it's one copy.
Well,
Crossfire Hurricane. They had the Senate intelligence report about everything, but there's like more stuff in there.
Right.
That.
Well, hell, they had
classified or whatever.
They had the FBI agent in New York, in their central office in New York, working for the Russians. So,
Yeah, that's a little weird. He must have helped in other ways. They only gave McGonigal 4 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty low for being a spy for Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have flipped on some stuff. Done less accidentally. Oh, Mark Meadows is going to prison.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt. I sensed that before I even heard about anything. He's going to prison. Federally, I think he's doing the best he can to avoid 20 years, whatever. But he's going to prison.
I think it's funny. Wasn't he head of the Freedom Caucus? And being head of the Freedom Caucus stuck him in prison. That's pretty good.
I like it. It's how the intelligence was gathered, more the info itself. Yeah. It's classified stuff, but bits and pieces about it are disseminated. That's what I'm kind of feeling. It's like, it led to the Mueller report, the Senate Intel report, And okay, Netanyahu. Oh, I can't remember if we had that. Okay. Fallout on Netanyahu.
What kind of fallout? I mean, that goes both ways.
Meaning, finally go bye-bye.
Oh, well, yeah, I've already seen that, and that man gives me a headache. He's one of those.
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't see him coming back. It's like once he was voted out, whatever. I'm like, finally, it came true. He's gone. Then he got voted back in again. It's like, what?
Yeah, because of the weird. This is sort of parliamentary procedure, sort of third party going run amok. Because then there's like 20 different parties, and then you have to get all these people getting coalitions with each other. And trust me, whenever you get two disparate groups together as a coalition, somebody's given up something big that you thought you were tied to that was legitimate. So yeah, it's a mess.
Good morning, Diana.
But
enjoy your morning chores.
when you're done there, I have a few here you can come down and help me with.
Oh, 8 of Swords.
Yeah, he's caught.
Then he was finally going to have his karma. Oh, yeah. This is not a good toss for him. Oh, yeah. Things coming to light. He's going to have a 10 of Swords moment. Yeah, he's gone. My sun card is May, but yeah, there's going to be success and gone in the outcome. Victory. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
In this legal process, he could have some health issues, big time, stress related or whatever. But yeah, I think he's gone. He's going. I have health issues, the bad karma, along with the 8 of Swords and the legal process. There's some secret things coming out of what's happening here with the Hamas attacks and everything we've heard.
God, if he knew, if they're even saying half of what they're saying is true about what he knew before it happened.
Yeah,
it makes Bush
coming out about this
right
disastrous thing. This is kind of like October 7th here with the 10 of Swords. Yeah, he's finally going away. Justice is going to happen for him. We might have to wait until this conflict is over. It feels like a bang bang. Finish the conflict, and I think that's why I was getting early on about this Hamas attack and whatever, because immediately the word I was getting, it's complicated. I'm like, yeah, it is complicated, because now you have try to do the best you can for civilians, try to eliminate them, and they're using them as shields. And
well, the civilians are being used on Hamas side because they're just stacked on top of where they work from. But that whole crap that Trump did of moving our embassy to Jerusalem and saying, okay, you can go build your settlements wherever you want to, that's what attracted those guys over the fence finally. And then Netanyahu put his people out there, and he took away the security that they were told was going to be there. They moved them all to the other end of the country. I was reading an article about a group of women tank drivers in the Israeli army who they're like, I guess, reserves or something. I don't understand how their military is structured. But these women went, when they heard what was happening down there, they got in their tanks and barreled down the country, and they showed up, and they were going basically street to street with their tanks trying to get these guys out. Because the whole military leadership had been transferred to have its focus up north, and the only credible threats against Israel at the time were from where these guys came over from Gaza. So it's going to make what our 9/11 commission did look like small time. You know, I mean,
like in Israel, it's like everyone. What I've read is that everyone's basically in the military.
Yeah,
everyone goes through it, and then they're basically on reserve. So they called up like 300,000 reservists when this happened. So that, they have a small military force with everyone on reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Thing, so.
Yeah, but you don't think of a civilian sitting around with tank keys in their house.
True. Very true. Yes. Okay. What happened to Navalny being moved?
About where?
Or not? Navalny is not being found.
I think
he's not in the same prison.
Well, if he was dead of anything that resembled natural causes, they'd show his body. He disappeared the day that Putin announced he was going to run again.
Something around there, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was that day, and that's when his lawyer said we can't reach him. And of course, Navalny's the one person that people in Russia could really rally around, except the one that he already blew up in the plane, Prigozhin, or whatever that guy's name was.
Prigozhin,
yeah.
I don't see him past.
Why don't we ask if we'll ever see Navalny again?
9 and 12. Let's see. I think he's been moved to be in hiding. I'm not getting health issues. So I have the King of Swords, authoritative figure, Six of Cups, kind of like doing what he's doing again. Kind of like when you go into the dark box, whatever.
Yeah.
Solitary.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been moved, and then the Hangman is kind of like imprisoned and in a different place held.
Mm-hmm.
So I think was moved kind of like to a solitary, possibly because of what's going on in Russia right now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they don't want any revolts, any kind of protests. It was done by the Kremlin with a Hierophant.
Mm-hmm.
And the Four of Coins is being locked up in this place. Nine of Cups is kind of like the party card, but it's also a place of multiple people being held. So it feels like a different prison, but like it's no internet access, solitary confinement kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's about all I get there. It's just, I don't sense any health issues with this toss or him. I just think they moved him to, stop any of his notifications out, to stop any revolt, protests, anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, what I got was, I asked if we'd see him again, and I got yes, holding tight Avenue. Yes, supporters of ambition and success. Yes, something's going on in a shady way. No shit. Yes, in Reciprocity Avenue. And then yes, in Restful Solitude. So I think, yeah, he's definitely in solitary confinement. But I think we will see him again. But then I said, will he be alive when we see him again? And I got no. And stab through the heart is the only upright card, and then winning at all costs. So this is Putin's last attempt. I get kind of a split decision. I think they haven't decided what to do with him. Because whatever they do, they have to bring him out. It has to look like it's not like they didn't try to poison him. And he's been very sick from that. They almost ruined his kidneys. So he's been very sickly, but I think they haven't decided exactly what to do with him, but they announced Putin's re-election on a time when they were switching high security prisoners around Siberia.
Double number 3 is going to be the president now.
Who?
double number three. Putin double number three is going to be president now.
Yes.
Dan said maybe he's in a prison hospital. I just tossed 3 cards. I'm like, yeah, he's sickly, but I'm not being shown a hospital.
No, he may have medics or something dealing with it. Besides, Russia's got to be running out of doctors to throw out of windows. So,
I mean, if he was sick, they would have just taken care of him there. I think they want to keep him away and hide him away from internet access or anything. What he's had. I think something big's going down in the Kremlin area. Maybe the end of the war soon, something like that, or some kind of transition. I don't think they can't keep up this ruse forever. What they're estimating 350 to 400,000 Russian military died. They're losing support for it. Yeah, the original army is pretty much gone.
Yeah, all they're doing is they're saying you can stay in prison and we're going to double your sentence, or you can go out and fight. So, who was it? Lawrence? One of the reporters on MSNBC did a good long piece on how fast they lost their army and how much they lost in the original push that they thought was going to, win. And how going from being considered the second best army in the world, they became the second best army in Ukraine.
Yeah. Oh, Jazzy, thank you. Linda, it won't be Putin elected. No. Yeah, there was an interesting article I sent to Linda, and I think I sent it to you, that who knows if it's true, but interesting little tidbits for sure. This reporting place, Radar Online, yeah, they were claiming that Putin has that he's actually in a deep freeze because he had like a cryogenic or some kind of freezer or something.
Yeah, that they've never thought anybody from. I do not think we are TV dinners. Thank you.
But they've reported numerous times that he's gone, in different little tidbits, and like, because I was getting something about cryogenic, and then that report, that article came out. I'm like, how can that not be? What article would ever bring up something like that he's frozen, whatever? And then I was getting that like a year ago. It's like, it makes no sense. It's got to be true. Because what would pop in my head about cryogenics? And then an article a year later talks about that Putin had a cryogenic center.
Half their country's a cryogenic center.
It is chilly.
It's chilly up there.
Okay, North Dakota Senator Kramer. His son was arrested for murdering a cop. Is he a federal senator? I don't even know who the senators are in North Carolina.
I'll look it up, Scott. You throw your cards.
Okay. Which deck wants Kramer?
It's 11-11. My goodness.
11-11. Oh, nice. Elon's creepy.
No, he's a U.S. senator.
U.S. senator from North Dakota. His son was arrested.
He was a junior senator.
Okay.
He has one child, the one apparently who uses guns proficiently.
Congress Center. Thank you.
He voted for the bipartisan defense program. So he's 61. He's been in since 19, so he'd have another 2 years before he'd be voted out.
North Dakota. I don't know. I got all good cards. He's got a stronghold in North Dakota.
And who knows? I mean, if we don't want them to throw Biden out over what Hunter did, who knows what, you could be the best parent in the world and that could be your karma is to have a kid like that, or it could be the kid's karma to have a parent who's good.
I don't know if his son's arrested. Okay, she said it was arrested. Weird. How did he murder an officer? I'll look that up later. Because I have the Chariot, King of Swords, King of Wands, kind of like helping him get a deal, or the Chariot's, vehicles. It's either taking charge or vehicles. Some kind of success, but using lawyers in a creative way with the King of Wands. About the situation, but I have a lot of support. Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups. That's a lot of strategy.
I got that Isaac Kramer, his son, died on March 22nd, 2018 in Mayo Clinic of kidney failure. He had liver and kidney failure. And now, he was charged in 2007. Because his girlfriend got something. Oh, he was in a car accident and slammed into an officer's car. He was driving on 2 flat tires. It had something to do with having had a fight with his girlfriend.
No, that makes sense with the Chariot. Because I was getting car accident.
And that makes sense with how he could be dead for 3 years before anybody knew about it.
Yeah, vehicular homicide.
Mm-hmm.
But that suggests there's some kind of deal. Chariot lowering and the King of Wands, that's a deal. But as far as him, I have Strength, Page of Cups, and Magician in the end. So that's definitely positive cards for him keeping his seat.
And he wasn't charged until now. That sounds... He was fleeing in a pursuit. It had something to do with a fight with a girlfriend. And the officer was killed instantly, and he died of the kidney and liver failure from the accident.
So the officer did?
No, the officer died immediately. He died. The son, Isaac Kramer, died at Mayo Clinic of complications from the accident that stopped his kidneys and his liver years ago.
So this is a different son.
No, he's only has one son.
Well,
I have no idea why anyone's charging him with vehicular homicide now, unless it's someone's playing games. Or it just took this long.
2 days ago, it says new charges were approved for a 42-year-old son of U.S. Senator Kevin Kramer. Included upgraded homicide count in a crash that killed the North Dakota sheriff deputy. So this is just 2 days ago. His 42-year-old son was charged with vehicular homicide.
He only made a court appearance, so he must be it's awfully well. Maybe it was the cop who died of kidney and liver failure.
I don't know where that's from. I didn't open the article. It's just a brief. There is a mental health thing.
Mm-hmm.
It said they took him to the Mayo Clinic.
Well, Roll Call wrote in 2018, Kramer's son dies at 35 of kidney and liver failure. So where are they resurrecting this guy from?
Oh, no, he sounds like he's got a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm.
He's also
Now,
facing
yeah, because that would be
charge.
right. They said the son died, but now he's alive and he's being charged at age 42. None of this makes any sense. And I don't live in North Dakota. I'll let them vote on it.
The senator, his brother Ike died in 2018.
Oh, okay. Well, the only one they
Yeah, he's
showed
facing.
in his
Yeah,
bio thing.
he fled the scene. He fled a scene, and because he had drugs and stuff, and then it ended up killing. Yeah. So yeah, he had a son, another son that died.
Apparently, there's a lot of.
2018. It says his brother Ike died
Oh, okay.
in 2018. The current son has a lot of drug issues. He was probably fleeing, and yeah, ended up killing an officer. But yeah, it doesn't seem to affect him as far as election, according to my cards.
I don't think it will because the kids are in their 30s and 40s. What can you do? I mean,
Yeah, he doesn't sound like he's in a good way.
mm-mm.
Kind of sounds like something Don Jr. would do.
Yes.
Oops. Why did Chris Sununu endorse Haley? Because she's the best option.
Mm-hmm.
He's anti-Trump, and I don't know. For some reason I feel like Chris Christie gets under his skin.
Chris
But
Christie gets under everybody's skin, and he's got a lot of skin too. Wave around.
I think he just felt like she's the best option. That's what I'm sensing.
Maybe they're trying to send signals. I mean, Chris Sununu is probably he's in a pretty conservative state. Not as bad as where I live, but the only place that's worse than me is drowning right now in Florida.
What about drowning in Florida?
Oh, they're having horrible rainstorms in Florida.
Oh, yeah. More flooding.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Florida. Did you check out that article I found? If all the ice melted, what the Earth would look like?
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
I'm still at okay. We don't drown.
Yeah. But Houston is gone.
Yeah, the whole thing up to the plain there where the mountains rose up the hill, what we call the hill country. It's close you come to mountains here. That went up the middle of the state. Below that was all the plain that went to the sea. Yeah, I've seen maps of what would happen if everything melted.
This is crazy.
Takes care of a lot of our problems, a lot of stuff on the border. I remember one time they had a thing about if California fell off during the middle of the Vietnam War, how the earth would change. And one of the first things I noticed was Vietnam would sink and the Middle East would be chunks of the part that caused the most problems would be underwater. So, and those things never happen, guys. So give it up.
There wouldn't be much No, Ron Johnson won't be VP because there won't be a Trump to worry about VP. So I think that was one of the questions. Like, find it. Oh, I missed it.
Ron Johnson, I saw it somewhere flashing through.
I didn't start. Someone asked if 45 was going to be the GOP nominee.
45? No.
GOP. Yeah, I'm just gonna do my own comment here quick. What's gonna happen before there? Okay. I see Magaswamy was talking about, they need to totally revamp the RNC in the Republican Party.
No, they don't. They need to totally revamp you. Okay, Trump will be the nominee. He's on his way. If he plays by their rules, that's what's going to happen. These people don't learn. This is crying over spilt milk. They don't learn their lessons. There's just not another way to make that decision. And for them, it's the world. For their party, it's the world. The question is, can he win in October? October. Yeah, he can win in October. Can he win in November?
No chance.
Mm-mm.
He's going to be the nominee. I see something happen prior to.
Does something happen between the nomination and the election?
Something happens before July when they meet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all energy is 45, yes. I see something happen prior.
Yeah, I see that he gets it, but he gets it. He gets the nomination, but then everything turns against him. Everything turns against him. And I don't usually read ill health or death. I'm going to pull an oracle card because I'd rather do that. I could pull from my talking from the other side deck and see if that's where he'll be talking to us from.
So currently, yes. In the current position, yes, he's going to be the nominee. Ace of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. That's in the current. That, yes, he's going to be the nominee with that current position. I do have the World also that you got. King of Cups, the World, and Six of Wands. That suggests that he may be the nominee. But in the end, I have the Devil, Ace of Wands, Knight of Cups. He may have a downfall, like as he's the nominee kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of feels like Satan coming to get you kind of feeling.
That has that look of it, yes.
On the Bonland deck could be heart attack issues problem, but that sure looks like the devil's coming to get you.
Well, I wanted to just pull an oracle card because my brain is beyond attempting this, and I got the Zadkiel card, but reversed. And in this deck, it's a weird deck. The oracle cards reversed have a meaning. Indecisive, ego, lost, judgment. That's what that card means. He's lost. And I think it's because he's not there.
It's going to be a crazy cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jeff got the devil energy too. election.
Good.
I don't know. 45 meet Joe Black. Yeah.
Maybe he'll be seeing dead people and he can't figure out why all he sees is dead people.
I guess that's the reason why I just see so much weirdness. Why I can't picture who the nominee is going to be. It's kind of like something happens and then they have to make a change.
Well, okay. If they've nominated a president and a vice president, and somehow the president doesn't quite get to the point of being elected, do they get to throw another candidate on there?
I mean, if someone, let's say someone passes away, they got to have a different candidate.
Well, no, because in Senate races, they just run the name that's on the ticket.
Even if they're dead.
That's how Claire McCaskill ended up being a senator. Her husband died campaigning. And so she finished out his time of campaigning, and then he won, but because he was dead, he couldn't assume the office, so they had to have another election, and she won.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they could do a write-in.
That'll give the Republicans what they've always wanted. Absolutely have to use paper ballots, and they all have to be hand counted, and then you have to read everybody's handwriting. And as we all know how far some of these guys got in school, you can't put X as your candidate. You have to really write out their name.
Baroness Press. Melania, no. My remote view. Oh yeah. I don't see him. It's like he's not there. I don't see him there.
No.
You know, maybe it happens. It's like he's on his way. But I don't see the RNC voting him as the nominee. It's kind of like he wins and like before it happens, like around his birthday or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be in court.
I'm getting ready. I'm getting my.
Yeah, you want to look at that. There's
I'm looking at my pendulum first.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
It's
okay. I can do it. Okay. Well, can you see it? I'm trying to find the one that's the biggest so you can see it. Okay. I always swing it first, guys. That's how I start them. And I'm going to say, will Trump be available on election day to be elected? No. It's going no. It's getting bigger. I don't think he'll be available. And you know what? Maybe why we can't see him dead, because if he has a really bad stroke, he can be there, but he's not there. Of course, I think he looks like he's there and he's not there now, but I think he's a better candidate for a stroke than a heart attack.
Ivana, come get your man. Yeah, if I was her, I'd be haunting him.
I'd be saying, get these damn papers out of my coffin.
All right. We're already at 1:30. Inspiration for the day.
Okay.
Go Pack, go.
I'm going to use, since we've ended up on such a weird topic, I'm going to use the wild elementals again because I like them.
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Half. What 3 cards randomly selected want to pop out today? Oh, the star. And okay. 10 of Spring, which is 10 of Wands. That's your burden card.
Mm-hmm.
Asking for help. All work and no play. weighted down with responsibilities. Okay. Okay, this is telling me don't run away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't run away from your responsibilities. Take them on head on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you get a speeding ticket, you can't let it go away. Just take your bumps, go see your court date, and negotiate. You know, you can't run away from responsibility. And then the 7 of winter, the 10 of
Mm-hmm.
spring. So you got your burden, something comes up, there is a better choice. You know, you don't run away because things all get better with the star. When you take your challenges head on, the future and optimism is much better. The power of faith moves mountains. Happy changes that bring relief from challenging times. So always take your challenges head on
Mm-hmm.
and don't procrastinate. It's like, it kind of be reminding when I was going through my divorce. I was in denial, trying to ignore everything, didn't want to get a lawyer. You know,
Mm-hmm.
things started moving and getting better when I actually accepted the truth and got the lawyer and moved on.
Yeah. Well, what we got for universal energy is the hawk. It's kind of like owl with pointier. But anyway, the hawk is a message that points to omens. Pay attention. Spirit is giving you some messages. Ordinary life is never quite that ordinary. Signs and symbols are all around us. Watch, listen, and be still so you can hear what is being said. What is holding you back from soaring to the greatest heights? And hawks are known for their clear sightedness, being observant, getting messages from spirit, and being guardians. Recalling past lives, creativity, truth, wise use of opportunities, and overcoming problems. So that's kind of where we are. Sounds like it's telling us to be more practical, have a more practical bent.
Very similar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Take the future. Take care of your future. Take your challenges.
So what have you got going this week, Scott?
Ugh. One more week of work, and then I get 2 4-day weekends.
Oh,
4-day
wow.
live weeks with Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
Finally, a little holiday break.
Yes.
I'm getting tired of. Oh gosh,
Scott's tired of delivering our standing rib roasts and our turkeys and things.
pretty much. It's been, oh gosh, last week I had 15 hours overtime.
Yeah.
So that's 10.5 hour workday every day.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you wake up and get home, it's over 12 hours. It's like, it's been crazy.
Well, tonight I'm doing 9 candles again.
Hey, I'm the one, right?
And you're the one. You're going to get the tape so you can link it off your channel too. And it's Mr. Scott. And so far they've been really, really good. They've been very interesting. Everybody's had their kind of unique perspective. It's interesting when you line them all up and hear what each person says about how they're feeling it and what they're going through. Scott's working so hard, he doesn't know he's exhausted because we've had too much solar energy.
Oh, yeah. I mentioned that. It was like, because I told you that when I woke up, I was kind of tired because my last few days, my tinnitus, or whatever you want to call it, my ear ringing has been off the charts lately. And it's kind of annoying trying to sleep when you all hear is, and you said it's the solar energy. I didn't look into it, but yeah, I did for tonight's 9 candles, I did a brief automatic writing from the universe. Hopefully it comes through well.
That's fine. I mean, everybody does what they do, and I think that's what interests me most about it. Is listening to how each of the readers takes what this experience is like and puts it into how their universe is framed.
Mm. So, like my guides show me with the blue energy we're talking about with 9 candles, is that's all linking to intuition.
Mm-hmm.
Blue for me links intuition.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, red is love, orange is healing. Like magenta or purple to me is like repair,
Mm-hmm.
healing repair.
Mm-hmm.
So like I remember it was like if a friend had COVID and I'm sending energy to him, I was told to
Mm-hmm.
send him purple or magenta light
Mm-hmm.
to help heal the
Right.
COVID infection, whatever. So that's the way I see it. The way they tell me with those colors.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, yellow is sun, bringing in warmth and creativity, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, we're a very interesting place, and people are feeling it's not a wild hand flipping enthusiasm about things, but they're really feeling a lightening, and it may cause some of your ascension symptoms a little more, but um, uh, I was like so tired and I couldn't sleep more than 2 to 3 hours at a time. I was getting up, walking around. Finally, I just did a meditation and said, okay, universe, enough of this. I got to get some sleep. So I slept 9.5 hours that night, which was really good. But it's just, and
Definitely.
everybody's, what they're seeing is different. How their groups are some, yesterday was Terry from Holding Your Space, who does meditative groups. And she was talking about how her group had been meditating on this blue light before they knew stuff was going to hit. They just kept feeling something was coming in that was very blue and the energy of blue. And she talks about that. And she talks about how you use that information when you get it. But Dr. Gale says it's Lyrans that are coming to visit us. We're all going to have our own Lyran. If you don't know what a Lyran is an alien that's cat-like or lion-like. And she talks about that. So
The Lyran energy.
the Lyran energy.
It's like you see the Lumerians as green.
Yes,
The Lumerian energy.
I think they were.
I see him as green.
Mm-hmm. And
Like,
but they kind of stayed after they colonized. They stayed on the earth while it went through its rumbly tumblies. They're under the ground somewhere. So anyway, I look forward if you guys want to come by at 7 o'clock Central Time. You have to figure your own time out after that. That's the best time. I'm lucky I can remember it's 7 o'clock Central Time.
yep, on Nancy's channel. So next Sunday is 24th, right?
It's Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve day.
And it's okay. I can work because my daughter's going to be in New York, and Susan and Kat are having a friend come by and visit. So they're going to be busy out showing someone from Baltimore the wonders of Texas.
So yeah, I got a family Christmas that afternoon. So I should be good in the morning.
Okay.
All right. Blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful week.
See you tonight if you want to come by.
Yep. 9 candles.
9 candles.